On July 11th, 2015, Nintendo President and CEO Satoru Iwata passed away at the young age of 55. It was a dark day for Nintendo fans everywhere. Many timeless classics have been created and influenced by this man. His philosophy on video games is still honored to this very day, and in this video I want to discuss one of his most popular series. Not only is it unique, but it truly captures Iwata's understanding of what truly makes a memorable video game. Enjoy. What makes Kirby unique? Probably the cutest character in video games, Kirby debuted in Kirby's Dream Land back in 1992. Developed by HAL Laboratories and published by Nintendo, Kirby slowly became a gaming icon. Sure, he may never be the AAA mascot like Mario, Link, or Master Chief, but after 24 titles, the Kirby series is still going strong to this very day. In a world where graphics and pushing the limits of a game console have always been praised among critics, Kirby stands out as a highly rated series despite never being produced to be Game of the Year. What makes Kirby unique is how it builds its games around a simple design and uses a mastery of game theory to create a fun experience for any level of player. Let's begin. On the surface, Kirby is a kid-friendly game, vibrant colors, goofy enemies, and very easy to understand controls. Be it the typical platformers or some of his many spin-offs, nearly every Kirby title is designed with simplicity in mind. I will mainly be focusing on the platforming titles in this video, as they are the best examples of the series. Now, not only are the controls simple, but they are designed in a way to almost make the game feel easy. Kirby's ability to inflate himself makes avoiding enemies very easy for new players. It's not hard to fly over enemies if they're giving you too much trouble. Despite this appearance, Kirby games are by no means easy. If a game plans to be fun for gamers, it needs to challenge them, and this is where the series starts to become a shining example of game design. Early levels have easy to avoid enemies, but they are also placed in a way that makes them easy to inhale if players wanted to. This alone caters to both younger players, since they can just avoid enemies to keep themselves safe, and older, more experienced players, since they can discover and practice abilities on these same enemies. No matter how you play it though, once you get to good old Wispy Woods, it now changes the dynamic. Players are forced to fight this guy. Those who avoided enemies or are playing Dreamland where there were no copy abilities now learn how to handle bosses due to his simple patterns. You can't inhale these air shots, so you avoid them, but you can inhale the apples, so you can use them to fight back. Now the players who are using copy abilities have another experience going on. Hidden within the simplicity of Kirby is the complexity of the copy abilities. In many games they have different attacks dependent on certain button inputs. There are attacks that can only be done out of a dash, or out of a jump, or sometimes just by holding a direction on the D-pad. I love doing that. But there's a catch to using copy abilities. Kirby can't inhale while he has one, so these apples that were initially used as ammunition are now an obstacle for these players. You see, somehow a game that looks childish can still cater to an avid gamer. By the time we get to Wispy, we've been honing our skills and finding which copy abilities we like using, but the fight has now gotten slightly more difficult due to our inability to inhale the apples. Now here's the beauty of this complexity. As the game goes on, some players will experiment with different abilities and learn how to use them, but the players who want something simple can just mash buttons and get away with it. It's an odd balance, but it's done perfectly to cater to many different levels of players, and yet it's merely teaching the core concepts of the game. While playing through the game, there is always something for everyone. Levels have secret areas to find, small puzzles to solve, all of which bring varying levels of difficulty even during the earlier sections. This exploration gives the veterans and those who understand the controls something to do. It's something that's slightly challenging, but yet rewarding, as it usually leads to something of value. By the time you reach the ending parts of the game, they are legitimately difficult. Many areas deter flying, forcing those who avoided enemies to engage in combat. And then there's Marks from Kirby Superstar, who is a tough boss. You need to understand all the tools in your arsenal, like the rarely mentioned ability to guard, and trying to find openings is a struggle as it is. Even for seasoned players, this boss can't be taken lightly. No matter which Kirby game you look at, there's a lot of depth to the gameplay in ways that are forgotten by fans. Even just the fact that Kirby can't fly while inhaling an enemy makes that core mechanic have this little bit of risk management. And this is why Kirby displays a mastery of game theory. Game theory, or ludology, is centered on understanding the gamer's role in a video game and how they react when faced with certain situations. The Kirby series is a marvel of these studies. It has a way of challenging the experienced veterans while still having an easy-to-grasp game for new players. The next time you play a Kirby game, pay attention to how simple the controls are, and yet an entire game is built around it. It maximizes the concepts to make something that's difficult, complex, and captivating, all while being simplistic in design. This understanding of game theory just shows Iwata's beautiful take to video games. He wasn't just the president of Nintendo, he was a game developer by trade and a gamer in his heart. He made games that could be fun for anyone, balancing the skill needed for a game with the intelligence of experienced players, something that not only Kirby, but Nintendo games will forever be known for. And that is what makes Kirby unique. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game stand out, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.